All of this is going to be changing soon because I'm really not happy with it at all. Stuff keeps falling off the wall. I don't have my Iron Maiden thing up here anymore because it just refused to stay on the wall. So all of this will be changing soon-ish. I'm trying to sort out a couple of bits and pieces at the moment, and I'm trying to shift things around, but my backdrop will be changing very, very soon. There'll be a couple of things that are still the same, but overall it's going to look different soon because it's really, really annoying me. Hello, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. So here we are with another New Metal Monday where I talk about my favourite new releases of the week. And it's been quite a quiet week for me this week. Out of all of the records that were released, there was only a few that I actually really enjoyed. So it's going to be a relatively short video, I say, but I'll end up rambling about something, no doubt, and it'll be the same length as my other videos. But anyway, I'll bash on. I've got 3 albums, 1 EP for you guys this week, so I'm just going to jump straight in and get on with it. Okay, so first up on my list, I have Before the Dawn with Stormbringers, and this is Finnish melodic death/gothic metal, and it's the 8th studio album from the band, but it's the first album in the last 11 years. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I almost wrote this album off after listening to the first track, and I'm so glad that I didn't. So let this be a lesson to you that albums change throughout their entirety, all the time. There is no point in listening just to the first couple of tracks because albums chop and change all the time. And I'm so glad that I stuck with this one. And the reason it kind of put me off to begin with is the vocal style. Now, I don't mind clean vocals, I don't mind guttural vocals, but they do have to be a particular style in order to keep my interest. And these clean vocals are absolutely gorgeous, don't get me wrong, it's just not something that I listen to frequently, but the more I listened to the album, the more I got used to it. But then they're quite sneaky, because on the very first track of this record, it's purely clean vocals. The guttural vocal style doesn't come into play until the second track onwards. And that is why I am very happy that I stuck with it, because this album is actually incredibly stunning. Now, the clean vocals are very soulful, they're very emotive, they're very crisp, but they're also very soft at the same time, whereas the guttural vocals are very deep. They're very nasty and they're very demonic as well. This record is incredibly atmospheric. It has some really heavy, intense melodies, some really amazing intricate guitar work and beautiful solos throughout as well. It's a really enjoyable, easy listen, but there's enough layer and there's enough detail in there to really captivate your attention, and I've listened to this a good amount of times over the weekend and I really enjoy it. So if you are a fan of the likes of Amorphous, Dark Tranquillity or Unto Others, you're definitely going to want to check this record out. Favourite tracks of this record are Destroyer, Downhearted and Chaos Star. Okay, so next up on my list here, we're going to the extreme opposite end of this melodic death gothic metal style, and that's All Consumed with Hallowed Violence. And this is the 4th studio album from the UK-based death metal band, and this record is incredibly brutal. Now, this is proper old school death metal. It's really brutal, but it also has a slight element of groove and the occasional element of Slayer in there as well. But this record goes hard, and it's purely guttural vocals throughout. The drums are really thunderous in this, and it's got some really cool solos with the odd bit of groove, like I said, throughout. So if you are a fan of the likes of Cannibal Corpse, you're definitely going to want to check these guys out. Favourite tracks of this record are Upon the Altar, Sacrifice, Sins of the Father and Desecration. So next up on my list here, I've got Avdigata with the Faceless One, and you have no idea how hard I have to make sure that I don't pronounce it as Avada Kedavra. So apologies for that if I do slip up throughout this video. My brain's wired weirdly, so whenever I see Avdigata, my brain goes Avada Kedavra. So this band, brand new and shiny, it's a debut album and it's Swedish melodic black death metal. Now this record is jam-packed with absolutely everything that I love about both black metal and death metal. It's got some really intense melodies, it's got some absolutely insane blackened riffage, really thunderous drums throughout this. The blast beats in this record are just absolutely fantastic, some mad solos and proper guttural vocals throughout. It's very atmospheric and very melodic, as well as very blackened and very heavy. So it's a great balance between both death metal and black metal. So if you are a fan of Behemoth or Immortal or last week's Krigsgrav album that I spoke about, you're definitely going to want to check this record out. Favourite tracks of this record are Putrefying Flame, Invocation and Cold Seed of the Dragon. Okay, so the last entry that I have in this week's video here is the EP that I was speaking about at the beginning of the video, and that's Aasar with From Nothing to Nowhere. And this is Blackened Deathcore from Italy. Now, this is a 5-track EP and it is absolutely stunning. This is a proper cinematic soundscape, especially the first track. It's the kind of music that you would normally hear in like a proper epic movie. Like I said, a really dramatic soundscape. And the overall theme of the EP is spirituality, pagan mythology, and apocalyptic sci-fi kind of themes here. And I'm all over that. I think that's absolutely fantastic. And these guys do a fantastic job of this in the EP. You know, it's really brutal, it's really heavy, but it's also got all of those really awesome, rousing, atmospheric moments, all of the synthy goodness, some epic riffage in this. And it's overall just really, really dramatic. I really, really enjoyed this EP. It's really, really addictive and really catchy, as well as incredibly heavy and incredibly brutal. It's a very layered EP. There's lots of different elements at play here, but it's not too overbearing, and it's just really, really fun to listen to. I have a quick question for you guys. Do you have a preference for death metal, or do you have a preference for black metal, or does it really depend on your mood? I'm not talking about the different subgenres that you get from each genre, basically. I'm just talking about death metal and everything that consists of that, and black metal with everything that consists with that. I personally prefer death metal. I do really enjoy black metal, but if we're just talking about straight up death metal, that's what I love. That's what I gravitate more towards. What do you guys prefer? Let me know in the comments section below and we can have a wee chat about that. Also, let me know what you think of the records that I've spoken about this week. And once again, if there is anything that I've missed, please let me know and I will definitely get those added to my list. If you could like, share, subscribe, I really do appreciate your support. Thank you so much and I'll see you in my next video.